morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of voice of radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at some Evolution Vs. You know, we've got Umbreon and Glaceon that we're going to be having a little bit of a look at in this particular video. And this Umbreon really, and look, I'm an Umbreon fanboy. Umbreon is one of my top 6. Because in Pokemon, you need a top 6, right? And Umbreon is one of my top 6 Pokemon. I adore Umbreon. The very first deck I ever made that was really my own and really good and started performing in tournaments was based around Umbreon, both the Prime and the Moonlight Fang, for anyone that's particularly wondering. And alright, Glaceon I don't like quite as much, but we need to have a look at these two Pokemon V. So let's start off with Umbreon V, because I'll be perfectly honest with you, Umbreon is the best of the evolutions. Fight me in the comment section if you think I'm wrong about that. Now, starting off, we got 200 HP, which is on the lower end, but it's not embarrassing. We can forgive it. Retreat cost of 2 does give free retreat with Air Balloon, weakness to fighting, and being a Darkness Pokemon does mean you are hitting weakness against Shadow Rider Calyrex V Max, which is looking like one of the best Pokemon in the game, so that's kinda cool. We can live with this. This looks alright. You are also a single strike Pokemon, so you got all that kind of stuff like single strike energy, like Ember, like Karen, etc., which can be used to add some damage. That is a good thing. As for the first attack, translations of course from the lovely Antoine Boulet, by now you should probably be expecting that, at least till we get down to the last couple of cards in the set. And the first attack, fine. 1 Darkness Energy, 30 damage, the defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. It's good, but I don't particularly think it's a reason to play the card. I don't think it's a bad attack, but how many times over the past couple of years have you heard me talk about these Pokemon that stop you retreating next turn? There's a bunch of them out there. And you don't do very much damage, so essentially you're hoping you can poke away and keep poking and essentially take a cheeky KO while your opponent cannot get out the active, they're stuck, and you're sitting there poking away and eventually taking a KO. It's fine, but I don't think it's terribly exciting. If, however, you start using some of the single strike tricks, now we can be talking. If you're playing a single strike deck, remember this is Darkness Energy, and single strike energy is Darkness / fighting, which means that you will be playing a Darkness Energy for this. And a single strike energy makes this 50 damage. And if there's an Ember in play, then you turn into 80 damage. And if your opponent has taken, say, 4 prizes, that's an extra 80 damage. There is 160, double with weaknesses 320, and oh look, there's a 1-hit KO on Shadow Rider Calyrex V Max. And I think this is another one of these single strike Pokemon, and there are a bunch of them coming around, whereby it's fine if you're playing single strike tricks. Because honestly, in a single strike deck, you're probably playing Karen, you're definitely playing single strike energy, you can play Ember, especially given Mustard and how easy it is to get out, and now all of a sudden Mustard, single strike energy, Karen after your opponent's taken 4 prizes, and now you're getting a 1-hit KO for a single energy on a free prize Pokemon that is almost guaranteed to see a huge amount of play. Yes, if you're just doing 30 damage and stopping your opponent retreating, I'm not a huge fan. Second attack here, free energy, 80 damage, but if this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack does 80 more damage. Cool. And we're in a very similar position here, because once again, you can get a 1-hit KO on a Shadow Rider Calyrex V Max. And that is brilliant. You want to get a KO on that, you actually are hitting the perfect amount of damage. As for having to have damage counters on you, that really isn't a problem. Sure, you could start mucking about with stuff like Spikemuth, but don't forget Houndoom. Houndoom attaches a single strike energy from your deck to one of your Pokemon and then puts 2 damage counters on them. So here you are clearly supposed to be accelerating energy using Houndoom, then there's damage on Umbreon, then you're off and ready to go. Honestly, because of the attack cost here and the fact that you can't use Twin Energy because you're a Pokemon V, you're probably going to have to double Houndoom. But you know what? Cool. You see, if I'm playing a single strike deck, I'm playing Houndoom. And I'm not aiming to get one Houndoom out, I'm aiming to get two Houndoom out, minimum. So essentially here, I can completely out of the blue play an Umbreon, double Houndoom, attach for turn, one-hit KO on Shadow Rider Calyrex V Max. Brilliant. Not to mention that with two single strike energy, I'm actually up to 180, and that's a one-hit KO on a Crobat. That's a one-hit KO on a Kricketune. And these are Pokemon which are going to see you play, so that you can essentially have a draw engine, be drawing cards as you go through the game. This kind of stuff is fairly important. So you know what? This seems absolutely fine by me. Again, I think if you take it out of a single strike deck, I don't think I really like it very much at all. I see this as a tech in a single strike deck. You need single strike energy, you might need Karen and M-Ball for the first attack, you definitely need Houndoom for the second, etc. But given that Darkness is a good weakness to be hitting, and given that we do have those tricks in single strike decks, yeah, bring on the Umbreon. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. I really like it. I only like it in single strike decks with single strike tricks, but I think this is a Pokemon which is perfectly built to take advantage of those single strike tricks. And now, I kind of want to play a single strike deck just so that I can play Umbreon. Sounds like fun to me. Now, we do have a Glaceon V coming in here as well, and this one might be the quicker of it, because I am not a fan of Glaceon V. Now, the good news is, we know we're getting a V Max, partly because you're going to see for the first attack, and partly because we've already been told, but just sitting at the V on its own, I don't like it. What we've got here is 210 HP, which is fine. Retreat cost of 2, which does mean free retreat with Air Balloon, which is quite nice. Weakness to Metal, which is fine. Best Metal Pokemon by a mile is Zacian, and they're getting an easy one-hit KO anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it. And being a Water Pokemon does mean you can use stuff like Frostmoth to accelerate energy. It means you're hitting weakness against stuff like Victini V Max, so it's not a bad type and a half. In terms of the attack, the first attack is the one that tells us we're going to be getting a V Max, because for 1 water energy, search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon and put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it. Cool. Essentially, if you're playing a Glaceon V Max deck, this is brilliant. Now, it's not perfect, don't get me wrong. It's not amazing, but it's... Well, I said it's brilliant, then it's not amazing. That's kind of confusing. All right, let me try and be clear. You go second, you attach an energy, you evolve up. Now, the thing I dislike about it is you are essentially then sat in the active, it's back to your opponent's turn, and they get to essentially have a free shot on your free prize Glaceon V Max. Clearly, I don't love that. But if you're going second, you want a basic Pokemon single energy attack. You want something that you can do, and this is something that you can do. Far from perfect, but a decent option in the absence of any other options. As for the attack, Water Double Colorless, 120 damage, discard any stadium card in play. Alright. Again, I'm just not in love with this. It's not terrible. I don't hate it. You can use Frostmoth to accelerate energy, but it's one of those, you're getting KOs on weak Pokemon Vs, like Victini, but you're not getting a KO on a weak V Max, like Victini. You're getting a lot of single prize Pokemon, but you're hitting 120, and there are way too many Pokemon out there that are sitting rocking 130, and you're not going to be getting them. My boy Donphan, you're not getting Donphan. To be fair, Donphan has 150. It's a terrible example. I just really wanted to mention Donphan. But there are a bunch of Pokemon out there that are rocking 130, and you're not getting them, and that is a problem. I don't hate Glaceon V, I just don't really see the point outside of a V Max. And whereas Umbreon, I can look at it and go, you know what, I love this, even if I'm not playing the V Max, there is a lot to like here. With Glaceon, I look at it and I go, yeah, if I'm playing the V Max, I like it. without the VMAX, I don't think too much of Glaceon. I'm giving it an ordinary everyday run-of-the-mill free Wassies because it does have a useful first attack, and the second attack when you've got energy acceleration like we do isn't terrible, but let's not go getting overly excited, yeah? Unless, of course, you really want to, in which case the comment section might be a good place for you to do that. Go nuts! Be nice! And also gush about Umbreon. I love this Umbreon. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.